Shalom, giving all praises to YAHAWAH, Bahashem, YAHAWASHI, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the bishops of Great Millstone, and Yahawah, Bahashem, YAHAWASHI, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, Brakatham, to the 144,000 servants as well as the remaining elect of Israel. So real quick, I've got to show you this video because the prophecies are here. You know, all the things that we've been prophesying about concerning, you know, the time of Jacob's trouble and the persecution of you Israelites, which are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, is at hand. You know, we're at the very beginning stages of Jacob's trouble, pursuant to Jeremiah 30, verse 7, 2nd Ezra 15, 2nd Ezra 16, Revelation 12, verse 12, and a host of other scriptures. We're in the very beginning stages of the time of our trouble, and things are only going to get worse and escalate as the days, the weeks, and the months go by. Okay, so as it says here, when we go to the book of Sirach, chapter 5 and verse 7, it says, make no tarrying to turn to the Lord. So that's our message unto our people, unto you Israelites. The message is, make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day, for suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth. And that's pretty much what I'm going to show you here in this video, and that's the time that we're living in. Okay, the wrath, the persecution, and the oppression that's taking place upon our people is the wrath of Yahawah, Bahashem, YAHAWASHI on the left hand side. Okay, he's doing it through our enemy, which is Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. What you need to understand is that Esau is the sword of our Lord. Okay, as it says here in the book of Psalms 17 and verse 13, it says, arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked. We know that the wicked is speaking about none other than the Edomites. They're explicitly the people of sin, pursuant to 2 Thessalonians 2 and verse 3. They're also known as the wicked in the Bible, according to Malachi 1 verse 4, Job chapter 9 verse 24, Isaiah 26 and verse 10. And their history as a people, especially as it pertains to what they've done unto our people in terms of hardcore slavery, in terms of stealing our land, you know, be it the land of Israel, America itself, which they stole from the tribe of Gad, which are you so-called Native Americans, proves that these people, these so-called white people, are the wicked. And even the way the earth is currently being ruled and governed under their authority, beginning with Amalek, which are these small hats out there in the land of Israel today, the 1948ers, you know, shows you that they're the wicked, the things that they're doing, if you're watching the news. Okay, so this is the prayer that we're sending up as the hopeful elect of Israel. Arise, O Yahawah, Bahashem, YAHAWASHI, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. Okay, and right now our Lord is using Esau to bring judgment on our people, the non-elect of our people, 2/3, as it's written in Zechariah 13 and verse 8. The Lord has numbered 2/3 of our people out here in America to the sword, to the slaughter, to the judgment, to the wrath of Yahawah, Bahashem, YAHAWASHI, as I'm going to show you here in this clip. Okay, so let's go back to Sirach real quick. Sirach 5 and 7. Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day, for suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord YAHAWASHI, come forth. And in thy security, just when you thought things are all good, all sweet, when you're at home playing family man, thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance. Okay, and right now our Lord is bringing judgment and vengeance upon you Israelites because you refuse to turn back unto the Lord, because you refuse to acknowledge yourselves as being Israelites, and you refuse to acknowledge this truth. Okay, you refuse to put down, your idols and return back unto YAHAWASHI in spirit and in truth. All right, a lot of you are caught up in all these various different religions. The main religion and false worship that you're caught up in right now is Christianity. Worshipping white man Jesus, calling upon Jehovah. Okay, a lot of you are in Islam, Egyptology. Certain of you are caught up in voodoo, Santeria. Okay, all these various different religions and schools of thought outside of the scriptures, and more specifically outside of the truth, which is what we have. All right, we have the true report of YAHAWASHI according to Isaiah 53 and verse 1, starting with the apostles of GMS on down. All right, but the majority of our people, are going to refuse to adhere unto our message, unto the voice of the Lord. Therefore, YAHAWASHI is going to bring his wrath upon you, using Esau, using the enemy. Anyway, check out this video.
Police! Hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Manos arriba! Manos arriba! Venga aquí! Venga aquí! Sal para afuera con las manos arriba! Salga para afuera! No te muevas, manos arriba! Sal para afuera, sal para afuera! Voltéate! Voltéate! Con las manos arriba en la cabeza! Sal para afuera, sigue caminando! Hands up! Sal para afuera! Sigue! No te muevas. Señora, ven aquí. Tranquila.
Tengo mi bebé.
Tranquila. Salga afuera. Hands. Come on back. Tranquila, señora. Baby, we have a baby. Tranquila. No hay nadie más aquí. Sal para afuera acá. Baby, come out. Hey, I need one in here with me. Go. It's okay. Yep. Won't you put the phone down? Yeah, we're in your house right now.
Acabo de llegar a mi casa y inmigración forcejeó las puertas, se llevó a mi hijo y a mi pareja y hicieron un desmadre, buscaban a una persona que se llamaba Israel y esto fue lo que ocasionaron. Se llevaron a mi hijo tiene un caso abierto con inmigración y pues aquí están las evidencias de cómo forcejearon para entrar y sacarlos. Y pues asustaron a mi hija y a su bebé. Y pues debemos de hacer justicia, no agarran a los delincuentes todos andan afuera, haciendo de las suyas y agarran a gente.
So as you can see, the scriptures are coming to life. The prophecies are here as it's written in Habakkuk 2 and verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. This is 2 Ezra 16. We'll read from verse 68 on down, because we're living in this time right now. It's happening before our very eyes. As you see here in the subheading, it says impending persecution of God's people. And that's pretty much what you're seeing here in this video concerning the ICE raids and the ICE persecution on the Northern Kingdom, which is trickling down into Judah right now, out there in Chicago. Anyway, this is 2 Ezra 16 verse 68. It says, for behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you, and feed you, being idle, with things offered unto idols. Now this here ties in with the persecution that's heading towards our way as the servants, the prophets, the men of the Lord. You can line this up with what's written in Revelation 2 and verse 10. Yep. Revelation 2 verse 10 says, "Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil," which is referring to who? None other than Esau, Edom, the false accuser. That's what the word devil means. "The devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried. And ye shall have tribulation," which is trouble, again, Jacob's trouble, 10 days, which is a period of time. "Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life." The reason why it says "be thou faithful unto death" is because certain men, and maybe even certain women, are going to be put to death for the testimony of our Lord. Okay? And that's exactly what we have. We have the testimony of YAHAWASHI, which is what? The spirit of prophecy, pursuant to Revelation 19 and verse 10. And the main prophecy that we're warning about that's heading towards our way is the fulfillment of Revelation 13 and 16 concerning the mark of the beast, which is the implantable microchip. Okay, and certain of us are going to be put to death for refusing to get down with Esau's beast system and taking that mark, the chip. All right, certain of us are going to have our heads chopped off, pursuant to Revelation 20 and verse 4. Certain of us are going to get taken into custody, for our faith. And the reason I'm bringing this out is so when it does happen, when it does come to pass, because it's not happening right now per se, but it will happen. And, when it does happen, it shouldn't come as no surprise, That's why I'm bringing this out. So when it does happen, it doesn't shock you. The Apostle Peter said, I believe that's 1 Peter 4 and verse 1, "Arm ourselves with the mind of YAHAWASHI." Because when YAHAWASHI was on the scene, YAHAWASHI knew what was ahead, concerning his persecution, concerning his hour of temptation. And as is written, the servant is not greater than the master. So those of us that are on the front line, serving YAHAWASHI, prophesying against Esau, it's very important that we understand what we're involved in, where things could and more than likely are heading towards, concerning the persecution of the church. And that's pretty much what we're reading here, which aligns with what we just read in 2 Ezra 16 and 68. So verse 69 says, "And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden under foot. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord." And that's the time frame we're living in right now. Right now, the ones that fear the Lord by default is referring to our people in general, the Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, by nature, we fear YAHAWASHI. And you can read about that when you go to Romans 2, and I want to say verse 14. All right, it speaks about those that keep the law by nature. And that's our people, because pretty much the law, to a particular extent, is written within our spirit. We have a general fear for the Lord. We were born with it. I should just highlight this whole thing. Verse 71. "They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses." You see? So this is the time we're living in right now, where they're being relentless. They're not showing no mercy And this is at the behest of the Trump administration, the cruel Lord, in which Trump, through the Spirit, starting with Apostle Tahar on down, Trump has been identified as that cruel Lord that you read about in the book of Isaiah 19. Okay, and what we're seeing here in this video is cruelty, man. Straight up. Anyway, it says, verse 72, for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. So what's going to be tried? Which the word try means to be tested, to test. And our faith is going to be put to the test, And in that time, that's when you're going to know who YAHAWASHI is truly dealing with. So, again, Sirach 5 verse 7 says, make no tarrying to turn to the Lord YAHAWASHI. Because right now, the Lord has still got his mercy out there. The grace is still out there, being that, we're out there on the highways and byways. And when I say were, I'm referring to the servants, the prophets, beginning with the apostles, the bishops, the elders, and the men of great millstone. And this is why it says this here when we go to the book of Isaiah 55 and verse 6. It says, seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near. Because right now, you can still find the Lord, through his men, his servants, the prophets, while we're out there on the street corners. And you can find the Lord through these videos that we're doing. Okay, so it says, seek ye the Lord while he may be found, implying that there's going to come a time when you're not going to find the Lord. You're not going to find this truth, this understanding. You're not going to get it, because the Lord is going to bring about what? The famine of the word. Amos 8 and verse 11. That's going to kick in. Amos 8 and verse 11 says, behold, the days come, saith the Lord YAHAWAH, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, not a thirst for water, in which that's exactly what a famine is. Okay, a famine is a lack of food and drink, a physical famine that is, but of hearing the words of the Lord. And what we're giving you is spiritual food and spiritual water, through these lessons, through these videos, through these prophecies that we're bringing out. That's why it says in Jeremiah 3 and verse 15, the Lord said, I will give you pastors according to mine heart, according to his mind, that shall feed you, as in the Israelites, with what? With knowledge and understanding. The knowledge and understanding of the Bible. And that's what we're doing. Day in, day out. Week in, week out. Us here at Great Millstone. So again, that's why, it says in Isaiah 55 verse 6, seek this truth, seek the Lord while he may be found. Implying that there's going to come a time when the Lord won't be found. Okay, his grace, his mercy, this truth. There's going to come a time when this truth isn't so readily available. Okay, and in the time that we're living in, this truth is what's going to keep you stable. Okay, as it's written in Isaiah 33 and verse 6, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time. What time? The time that we're in. Okay, Jacob's trouble, Jeremiah 30 and verse 7. Anyway, I pray and hope you're edified. And until next time, I'll say, Shalom.